Hello everyone and welcome to a new Way of the Hunter video. Today I would like to talk to you about 10 tips and tricks that you should keep in mind when you start playing the game for the very first time. As you can imagine, this list is going to be completely spoiler free. We are just going to talk about game mechanics and such. But before we start, be sure to subscribe as there will be a bunch of content coming along the way, and if you like the video, be sure to leave a like. So without further ado, let's start. Number 1. Scouting. Coming from Call of the Wild, one thing I could say I never did in that game is scouting. I never really needed it. Just running around to hear spooked animals was enough of a scouting, unfortunately. In Way of the Hunter, however, you really have to put in a lot of effort into your scouting, stalking, shooting, tracking, and everything in between. Scouting is really a key part of this game. You need to go out on the field, explore need zones, recon the area, and spot some animals for future reference. These are all necessities, as you cannot just run around and hope to come across an animal. Recently, I had to scout 2 hours only to spot 3 herds of mountain goats, which I failed all of them in either stalking, shooting, or tracking. So scouting is a huge part of the hunting in this game, and I love it. Number 2. Think a million times before taking the shot. I have probably talked about this a lot by now, but tracking in this game is hard, especially when you have just installed the game and started playing. In time, you get some tips and tricks here and there, which I will share a really important one along our list here as well. But even with hunter sense and everything, especially if you made a really poor shot, tracking is going to be a really hard job. And you'll dread every single second thinking you could have spent way less time if you spent more time on the shot, because I know I did. Number 3. Bloodstains lead to next tracks. So, this is my tracking bloodstains number 1 tip. Be sure to investigate the shape of the blood. Whichever way bloodstains look towards is probably going to be where your next sign will be. This tip will really help you as you start making your way towards the game and when you are not really sure where the next track is. Number 4. Need zones are really vague. Don't count 100% on them. There have been many concerns over need zones, but I can assure you they are not your go-to easy kill spots. They are far from it actually. I have within my 3-hour mountain goat hunt set the time of the day to appropriate hours and still had to travel half of the map and find another zone to really be able to catch one. As you discover animals, you get to learn about them. And you can check these new informations in your encyclopedia. But even then, places like lakes and rivers or any water source really, they are not 100% populated with animals at all times, and they are definitely not there at the same time of the day at all times. Number 5. Take your time while exploring the map. You'll do that a lot. And enjoy the nature. This game has beautiful graphics and an amazing sound design. You have to slowly explore the map to find need zones, which are not the most obvious places in the map. They are not fixed assets, so to speak, where you can tell from 100 meters, yeah, this is a need zone, so you'll need to take it all so slowly. And while you have to do that, maybe just enjoy the nature and take your time while exploring the map. Number 6. Try to find campsites, as fast travel is really helpful. So, there are campsites and lodges scattered around the map. You have one main lodge and there are around 4 main lodges that belong to some other owners. Those places are usually where you need hunting passes to hunt in those respective zones. But campsites are usually in the middle of the action and they are really helpful when you want to hunt a specific animal which rarely appears on different habitats, such as mountain goats who are around, you guessed it, mountains. So finding a nearby campsite is really helpful. It is not going to make your hunt easier, but it will save you the time to travel around too much as the map is massive. Number 7. Use lakes and rivers, or any other water source for that matter, to discover tons of need zones. As I said, need zones are not 100% correct guidelines, but they are rather vague and you can rarely find many animals around them at given times. But finding them are nonetheless helpful for you to understand which types of animals belong to where they usually hang out, and so on. Water sources are obviously places where animals go for a drink, so you can find multiple drinking zones at a single lake. I have once found 4 different animal species' drinking zones in a singular lake. Not that it made me hunt them 24/7, but it was great for scouting and getting an idea about the lay of the land. Number 8. Tracks might lead to need zones, and please don't run around the map. Okay, I want to sneak 2 points into this one. First is tracks. So, tracks, and I mean animal food tracks and such, usually lead you towards their need zones, places where they hang out the most. Be sure to follow through a lengthy footprints of an American black bear, because it might lead you to their need zone. Secondly, please, for the love of God, do not run around the map. Animals such as elks have really keen senses, and they can hear you running from further away than 300 meters. Even when crouch walking rather fast, they can hear you from 200 to 250 meters, so be slow and take your time. Number 9. Pink marks in the map are where your scent goes. This is a really short one. In the map you can see dynamically spread pink marks. These are your scent. You can double check it with the windage. You'll see that it spreads your scent towards wind's direction. Number 10. Many animals, when spooked, run for around 300 meters away from you, and if you stop moving, by then around 300 meters they will calm down. So this is quite self-explanatory. When you spook an animal, if you stop on sight, animals usually run around for 300 meters. If you keep on running, there's no telling how far they might run away and which way they will run away. So keep your calm when you spook animals. So that was my top 10 tips and tricks for beginner players in Way of the Hunter. Which tip did you like the most? And after you play the game, which tip saved you a lot of time? Comment down below. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more Way of the Hunter content. And I'll see you on the next one.